Let's talk all about AI in business. It's hosted by Brent Muller. Welcome to the Future Proof Podcast.
Hi, and welcome to the latest episode of the Future Proof Podcast. I'm your host, Brent Muller, joined today by Krishna Surendra from HR Cloud. Krishna, so glad that you could join us today.
Thanks, Brett, for inviting me to the podcast.
Yeah, great. So let's start off like we always do with, tell me about your background, your journey in your career, and some of the things you've done leading up to HR Cloud.
Sure. So my background, I have a computer science bachelor's from India, and then I did my master's in the in US, Louisiana. And I started my career as a software engineer. I initially worked for a company based in San Antonio as a developer. And then I got a job offer at MySpace back in 2008. So I moved from Texas to LA.
Right?
Yeah. Well, it was in its peak back then. It was,
Yes.
the MySpace, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's how I came to the West Coast. So I started working for MySpace, and then, as you all know, my Facebook overtook
Everything,
then
right.
pretty much decimated MySpace. So I had to look for a different opportunity, and I switched jobs. I went to a company called NeoGov, and that's a market
And what do
leader
you do?
in. And yeah, NeoGov is a market leader in public sector side of the business. So they primarily have HR software focused on recruitment. They have a career board, job board called governmentjobs.com.
Okay.
Primarily focused at the public sector organization. So I worked as a lead developer and then got into more of a technical product. I wore a technical product hat where I worked directly with my CEO then and shaped the product. So I worked on this product for employee onboarding. Back then in 2011, I believe, onboarding is new. Everybody is aware of performance management for obvious
Right.
reasons because you have to
Yeah.
do the appraisal for salary. And recruitment is quite obvious, whereas onboarding is a new thing back then. This new buzzword, and we started working on that, shaping that product. So that's how my career started with NeoGov, and then I worked there for around 6 to 7 years, and then my founder started HR Cloud, which is a company focused on providing HR services for the private sector. And I had an opportunity to grow the team and lead it as a chief technology officer. So I switched my careers to jump to HR Cloud. And it was a great journey. So learning and working with remote teams. So we had a team in LA, and also we had a team in Vietnam. So
Okay.
my biggest challenge was to manage a team from a different location, different time zone, different cultures.
Yeah.
It took me a while. It took me like
Well, I know it
6.
would have been easier if it was an India-based team, right? Like it would have been a little more natural. You'd have some background, but
Yeah.
Vietnam, right? That's a big
Vietnam is
switch.
different. Yeah. For the
Yeah.
language and the time zone, and
Yeah.
you have to lead with different personalities altogether. And how did you build the trust with the team? So it was a successful venture. If there is one thing I could say that I'm proud of, so I was able to work with the team. I had no idea. I'd never seen them in person. I was able to extract work out of them. And then my boss found confidence with this team, and then we developed it. And they're still sticking around with me. They're still my
That's awesome.
best A players. Yeah.
Really? That's fantastic. Yeah, you don't hear Vietnam as much, but there's talent all over the world. So kudos to you for tapping into it.
Thank you very much. And then another thing, before I switched over to HR Cloud entirely, I was instrumental in working with my founder in opening up an office in Croatia, Split, Croatia. It's a beach town,
Okay.
beautiful city. And somehow we found talent over there because eBay used to have a subsidiary. It's called Where.com.
Okay.
And that was shut down. Then, since my boss is from Croatia, he wanted to set up an office and do something for the country and the city.
Yeah.
And he said, "Hey, this is in the news. eBay is letting go of people. Why don't we look at these developers?" And then we started interviewing so many. We had to interview like 100 plus candidates to hire one or two.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that was a
I can't
journey.
even imagine what that was like. That is a lot of interviews.
It was, yeah. Yeah, so and then we opened up a satellite office in Croatia, and fast forward to HR Cloud, we still have the Vietnam office and then the Croatian office, and they are there so that they can directly deal with the customers because our customers are primarily based in the United States, North America. and they have
Right.
better overlap. So our customer support is set up in Croatia, and then a support team, so that if there were any issues that we need to resolve, they take care of the release and deployments from there.
Okay. Great. Great. Who for HR Cloud, do you run the gamut of industries, or do you have some specialties?
Right now, we do everything. So we primarily focus on the private sector. That being said, we have customers ranging from healthcare, manufacturing, transportation industries. That those are
Yeah.
the main people because our software are primarily catered for these workers who are always on the move. They need to use their mobile phones.
Yeah.
And yeah, desktop is there, but then if they want to use their phone to do everything, so you don't need an email address. You can just do onboarding. You can communicate with your peers just using the mobile app.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's how we cater to these industries. In addition to that, we have technology industries who happen to have staff across multiple geographic regions. We resonate well with those companies because they have complex needs and setup. And we are a company with multi-location setup
Right. So
from
you're
Vietnam.
basically showing them the model, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we made our software specifically to cater our needs, and also it resonates well with those industries as well.
I love it. Love it. So tell me, so now getting up to HR Cloud, tell me about, the vision for HR Cloud and how you guys.
So we've grown pretty much organically. After I graduated from technology role into product and marketing, and then eventually as a CEO, my focus from the get-go has been focusing on SEO and Google because we can spend as much as you want on Google Ads and now Meta and LinkedIn. But then if you don't have a strong core, which is, if you don't have a good domain authority, DR, and if you don't have a good brand presence, you're going to burn that money pretty soon. So with that said, I've consistently started to publish articles on our HR Cloud platform. I mean, on the website under
Right.
resources. And then that did help us even till this date. That has been our number one source of organic leads and sales qualified leads.
As
The
the old
second
saying
one,
goes, Krishna, content is king, and you
content
create
is
good
king.
content, and
Yeah.
you're living it, right? I love it.
Yeah, that actually changed. Content is definitely king until like a year ago, right?
Yeah.
And then since last January, after Google updated their algorithm to make sure
Yeah.
weed out the junk traffic
Yeah.
and junk content, our traffic did go down, and we had to take 6 months to recover. And because you're
Really?
adapting and
Yeah.
nobody knows what
Right.
is going on, it was pretty tough for all the businesses because every company that I've known, a CEO, they did say traffic was going down, organic traffic. We don't know how it's going to go. Let's wait and see. Let the dust settle, and then we'll adapt to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's exactly, but it sounds like that's exactly what you did. And I think that's exactly what most folks that had to do. Anytime Google makes a big update like that,
Yeah,
you don't know what the ripple effect's going to be, right?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So as you look out into the future here for HR Cloud, where are your growth opportunities? Is it in those remote companies? Like, what are you seeing?
It's kind of interesting because we don't have, it's good and bad, right? So, because we do fare well in these industries, especially the home healthcare, not the big hospital, but the healthcare where employees are always on the move. They're helping elderly folks or
Right.
kids who need special needs. And the industries where technology and manufacturing. The opportunity for us would be to get to the grassroots and see where do we fare well. I think these are this two to three industries and just go really deep. And once you have a strong hold, and then try to replicate it to other industries based on what are key strengths. What do the customers like? Why are they purchasing our solution? Why do you fare well in these industries with these IC? Then listen to that and then try to replicate it and talk about it on the website and also on apps and everywhere.
So it's interesting you said that. So I had a CEO in a logistics company, and where they kind of do the fulfillment for some big brand stuff. And he told me that very similar to kind of what you just said. He said one of his biggest light bulb moments was to go and pick up the phone and call like 25 or 50 of their best customers in like their industries where they were saying and why their solution resonated. And he said, I learned so much that it allowed me to change our whole messaging strategy, right? Krishna, exactly what you just said, right? That feedback, and again, it doesn't mean you have to pick up the phone. There's a lot of ways you can do that. But when he said that, he said it completely changed their business. And so I think you're into a good idea there.
Exactly. I know we're going to explain this later towards the end of the podcast. So what I've done recently is I collected the information during the sales interviews or sales prospecting. When we do a demonstration, we ask them, why did they like? Let the customer speak. We get the transcript from before we close the deal.
Mhm.
And then we do the customer interviews. We collect the data and also check with our customer support team members and them talking to our customers because they are the ones who speak to customers all the day in, day out.
Right,
So
right.
we got information from them for every industry that we cater to. And why do they like our solution? Why are we better than a competitor? So that's insight from our
That's
existing
huge insights.
and from our prospects, we got the information. Why are they looking at us? Because we don't know what else they looking before they came to HR Cloud.
Right.
Now, we use ChatGPT and fed this information to ChatGPT and try to get insights from it. So you get the customer insight, you get the prospect insights, and I have something in my mind why I think we are
Right. We have
good for
bias,
the
right? Natural
yeah.
bias.
Now
Yeah.
you get the real data, and then you can ask it questions. So you train this chat bot to answer you based on the real customer data and prospect data. Now you can make a better decision based on that. And you can use that to change your ad copy, the messaging on the website, or if you want to be specific to industry, healthcare. Okay, these are the reasons why we are good at healthcare. Why are we better than a competitor? We can do that.
That's phenomenal. And there's tools out there. So yeah, we'll get into that here in a little bit. So Christian, tell me what you see in the industry in general, right? In the HR industry, what is you've noticed the trends shifting, right? And how are AI data automation kind of affecting?
It's too early to say how it is affecting, but the general perception is everybody should get onto that AI bandwagon. And we took our own sweet time to understand whether there is a need for it. And just because a competitor is doing it, you don't have to necessarily do it. And also, what are the implications if you end up doing something which is going to affect us? So we are trying to be extra cautious to get onto the AI bandwagon. At the same time, other
But
companies have
internally,
leveraged.
right? There's things you're already using it,
Exactly.
right? Yeah.
Exactly. Internally, we're using it. Using it for two reasons. One, to better optimize our marketing engine. So how can we better talk about our values, the brand, etc. That's one. Without no-brainer, that we can use.
Yeah.
And for sales, to enable the sales team to write better emails and explain the prospect. If they ask us, how do you differentiate between so and so? Yeah, you can use that and use ChatGPT to get you a template that you can send it to them. That's very good. And then we're trying to optimize the efficiency of our customer support by uploading the knowledge base into it. It doesn't need to be ChatGPT. We're even exploring Claude and Google Notebook.
Yeah.
So we are using multiple options. And once you have the knowledge base uploaded, you can ask it questions so you can get an answer quicker, and then you can send it to the prospect. So we are trying to be like a liaison between the customer or a prospect who is asking us questions. Our agents, it's not AA agent right now, but our chat support team is looking at the articles and then quickly getting a result and then sending them. Next
That's
step is
phenomenal.
to take a step back. That's like how these consumer websites are doing. Before you get any response from a human, we get these chat bubbles where are you looking for this or this or this based on the knowledge.
Right.
And then now I want to talk to a human. Yes, you can route it to the live agent. Otherwise, you can give the response much faster and then much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the last step is to use it within the product. But when you get to implement AI into the product, you want to be real careful not to leak the data to the internet. That's first thing.
Yeah.
And second thing,
Yes. Yeah. Privacy protection, it's a huge thing, especially
exactly.
in your industry, right?
Yeah, I don't ask it any question. It's going to give us political information. No, that's not going to work. So contain it. So you are letting the chat bot to answer questions based on your tenant specific information that you provide, and you can't get out of the realm. So you stay there, right there.
Yeah.
That's the last approach. Yeah, you can really do magical things like once you have the data there, so ask it, okay, give me the best, which teams are well engaged, who is not well engaged, how much time did it take to hire an employee, hire a candidate, and what is my onboarding efficiency? Yeah, some things like these. These conversations could be translated into your query and then you can get the results. If you can do that, that'll be golden.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. Those are really, really, really good tips there. So, as you look down the next 1 to 2 years, what do you see as the opportunities or the change in this industry? Because I feel like this is an industry in general, and again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that lags behind the HR industry in general, lags behind everything else
Yep.
typically. Whereas I feel like it's the most ripe for this kind of acceleration or like skip ahead. Like AI and some of the things that you can do with that can really take you guys to another level. Are you seeing those opportunities? What do you see?
Yeah, definitely there is opportunity to make things better, be more efficient, and ultimately the customers are the ones who is going to get benefited from this shift. On the
Yeah.
flip side, there is this general perception that AI is going to take over the jobs, right?
Yeah, I don't believe
th-
that. Yeah.
we still don't know.
Right.
And then how is it going
We're
to
a while from
international?
that, I guess is my point,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, how is it going to change? What is going to happen to the jobs? I think it's going to help us. It's not going to replace humans, but it's going to help humans to be better. Obviously,
Yes.
the caveat is you are going to get some extra free time. What are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going
Yes.
to be in the same job, or, you'll something has to come, right? So ultimately it's like a big shift and paradigm where like just like the industrial revolution, all the jobs were gone, machines have taken over, but humans have evolved and they got to work on something better.
Right.
I
Something
think
better.
this is going to create new job opportunities, and it's too early to tell what is it going to be.
Yeah. Agreed. 100%, Krishna.
Yeah.
I totally agree. So the I, I guess I'm thinking, right? Do you see platforms consolidating in this
Oh
industry?
yeah.
Because you really have, right? You have the recruitment side and the
Yeah.
talent
Yeah.
acquisition. You have the employee engagement stuff, right? And then you have the employee management and career path stuff, right? And
Yeah.
again, there's a whole host of things that go around with those. Do you see all of that coming into single platforms because of this?
I think so. That's been the trend right now that we've noticed in the last 6 months, where companies or the customers have realized that why do I have to have 5 or 6 different platforms to do these functions? Why not I consolidate? There's a couple of reasons to do it this way, where you'll be more efficient instead of, oh my God, I forgot the password to get into this system versus this system. You don't have to worry about that. And also the cost is going to be less. And the
Right.
integration, the friction from transferring the data
That's
from,
huge.
that's
Yes.
huge. So that's one big change that is coming. And any company who just do one specific thing, one HR function, it's going to be tough for them, because a payroll company could have started with just payroll, and later on they would have added HR functions for onboarding, hiring, performance management, etc.
Right.
And it's evolving, right? Every company is doing it. Ultimately, if we as a company can do a good job, a great job in offering these functions, multiple functions within HR, and make the customer happy, they're going to stick around with us. And the only way for us to lose a customer would be if the payroll company were to offer the same functionality like what we have.
Mhm.
Yes, sure, they would consider, because they're getting 30% discount on other things. But if we can do a job which cannot be done by a payroll company, then yeah, we're going to keep the customers, or
Yeah.
vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah, I that totally makes sense. And I think the fact that you're simplifying what has always been a complex set of things. Like almost every client I've ever had has had 5 or 6 different systems within
Yeah.
HR to do stuff. So, and that's exactly why I asked, because I've seen it firsthand where, they've been, I have this tool for training and I have this tool for payroll and I have this, it's just, to me, the platform makes the most sense. And I think it makes life easier on both the employer and the employee.
There are cases where a customer would prefer to choose the best of the breed.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you a customer who happened to use one of our competitors for their applicant tracking to hire the candidate.
Yep.
Sure, they do a good job with applicant tracking. But when it comes to onboard, that's our strong suite. So we do a great job, I would say. So they use our platform to onboard the users, and they use a payroll company to obviously do the process the payroll. So we're in
Right.
between an
Right. Those
applicant
two
tracking
platforms.
system, and
Right.
then we take the data, we be the middleman, and then we have to work with a payroll company in this case. And
Yeah.
for any reason, if something were not to work the right way, we get blamed for that because we are in the middle.
Yeah.
Hey, they did not give you the candidates, but you are the onboard system, so you have to collect it. These are challenges that we always deal with. Anytime we have a new integration, the first 30 days is like a new marriage.
Yeah.
You have to deal with and go through it.
I totally get it. I totally get it. So anything else that you want to cover or you're thinking about in the industry in general before I ask you our final two questions?
I think you already mentioned it, that the way that companies are going, at least in the HR space, is definitely they're all moving in consolidation mode where let's offer let's cram in as much functionality as possible. That way, client would not look for an alternative, we just keep him here and give him a discount. That's been the trend. And yeah, I believe that if we can do a great job with offering the best customer support and the functionality that they cannot get elsewhere, we can keep them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then
Absolutely. And
keep listening to them.
and not only that, that's how you grow the lifetime value of your customers
Yeah.
because it's really about how much more value you can deliver to them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. More value than, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it sounds like, HR Cloud, that's already kind of your sweet spot. I mean, there's no doubt that onboarding and support are two of the biggest factors in LTV. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. All right. So I told you I was going to ask you a couple new things. One is tell me something. I mean, you've already given us some really cool things.
Yeah.
But tell me something you, as the CEO, have done for yourself to free up some of your time with AI.
So
And it could
definitely
be
this.
it could be personal or business. Yeah.
Yeah, I have multiple things. So one is this training the chatbot. Interesting thing is, I did not know that you can train it so that you get the response based on the knowledge that you provided. I've been using it for the past 1 year. Now, when I was looking at YouTube, get this feed about AI everywhere, right? So whatever I was doing for the past 6 months to a year, that is the right approach. So you can upload the documentation and then ask it to give you relevant information. That's pretty good. And the second thing is, you can train AI to kind of speak like you. So instead of getting a generic boilerplate response, which could easily be detected by Zero GPT, etc. So you can give it a prompt engineering, basically give it instructions where it mimics your brand. So you have to give it, this is my blog post, this is how I speak.
Yeah.
These are, I wanted to imitate Tony Robbins as an example, and then give him a couple of quotes. Then you can actually use it, tweak it so that, the response that you get is not the basic default response. That's very, very good. So it saves you a lot of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also it does save me a lot of time when it comes to anytime, let's just say, if I were to onboard a new salesperson or if I were to onboard a new marketing team or a company or an agency, I need to fill out a big questionnaire, right? They would ask me what the competitive advantages, the ICP, everything.
Right.
Instead of me dumping it, already my brain, I've trained ChatGPT with my brain dump, so I can ask it questions and then they get the answers.
Right. And you could give
Like
them
agents. They call them agents now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
AI agents. That's been quite helpful. And then on the personal side, I haven't had a chance to use it to the fullest, but I trained the same chat bot with my goals and my to-do list. These are the things that I would like to do. And then based on my preferences, tell me what is the best recommended training plan for me and plan it out for the next week, next month. It could be reading a book, watching a LinkedIn learning video, or it could be a YouTube training video, something like that, right? So it plans my day for me. That's been quite impressive. One disadvantage is it doesn't remind you just yet. I think it will come up in the next couple of
We'll
months.
get there. Right.
Yeah. Right now, you have to ask it every day, hey, this is my buddy. So, hey, what's in my day today? So it can give you responses.
Now, you could use like N8N, right, or something to do that, create a little agent to do that, but it's coming anyway, right?
Yeah, it will come soon. Yes.
Yeah. No, that's really good. That's one I have not heard, right, about planning your day. I love that.
Yeah.
So,
Coach, life coach. Yeah. And then the name of the chat is coach. And then I can ask it questions.
Yeah. So I got a really good mentor prompt from Kim from Max Potential last week, and I'm going to share that out because it's a really good one for challenging you as your advisor. And so I'll send that out pretty soon. Yeah. But yeah, you gave me some really good ones, so we'll make sure that we put those out in the tips and tricks. So last question I have, Krishna, is right. You got your growth goals. You've already kind of narrowed your to some 2 or 3 key industries you want to go after. So if I could give you a magic wand, right, so you could hit or exceed those growth goals for the next 12 months, what would you do with it?
What would I do with it?
Yeah.
If I exceed my growth goals, I never thought of it.
No, to make you meet or exceed them, right? Well, what's that driver or enabler that will help you meet or exceed those?
Definitely, if I could get the marketing engine rolling, so if I can double the number of sales qualified leads on our website, we can easily get there. So we just started a couple of initiatives right now. In addition to the organic traffic, we just started running ads on Meta, Facebook platform, and then LinkedIn ads. And the third thing that we're doing is a cold email campaign. I think it is going to work. It's not
It will.
pure, yeah. So it is going. Every message is different, and based on the audience, agents are tweaking the messaging to be more personal and then relevant to me. I'm more likely to open it just the same way. We are using
Personalization at scale. That's
exactly,
it. That's
exactly.
if you get tight,
that is something we are trying right now. So in addition to the organic traffic, ads, and then a cold email campaign. If we can get 2 or 3 of these initiatives working, then we can definitely achieve our goals.
Excellent. Love it. Love it. We're going to get all your links when we put this up live, but for people watching before that, tell them how to get in touch with HR Cloud and you.
Definitely. If you like to learn more about HR Cloud, so you can go to hrcloud.com and you can learn and see what products that we have to offer. And you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. You can search for Krishna C Surendra, and that's me. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn.
And we'll have all those links, including your LinkedIn profile, below this. And Krishna, thank you for spending time with us today. It's been really fun, and you gave us some really cool tips and tricks for other founders and CEOs. So thank you for sharing that.
Thanks a lot for inviting me. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, can't wait to get this one up and live.
All right.
Thanks, Krishna. So that's it for this episode of Future Proof Podcast. This has been a really fun one, and this is where technology leaders and AI come together to drive business growth. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you're ready to embrace change and lead with innovation, be sure to subscribe and never miss an episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Future Proof Podcast.